M80, for example, they played with the Tejo and Sova, and you were still able to get a very strong one-sided victory for this roster of Landor. Although a lot of it happened on the attack side as well with this comp. So they do definitely have a way to work with this composition where TSM on their attack side was not present against Burger Boys, nor their defense at all. So you're just hoping here that Landor is going to fall into some mistakes of over peaking in these moments. So far, you have a nice little slip through the net from the Jet.
Oh,
Chaotic still gets one.
Goodness.
Dude, I thought it was going to get spotted by at least on the side of 7.
Yep.
And he TPs into the ace stack as well, dude. This is
with sentries here and a spy cam and a trap wire. Like, wow, this sucks. If you're TSM, like, how do you get through this?
You don't.
You just got to win your fights, and you're not. Chaotic's got 4, so he's almost got a dimensional drip.
Yeah, dude, this is insane.
Wow.
Already halfway towards that one, and even when TSM wanted to start activating here towards the A side, you already saw the util from the minimap. But the most important thing was the camera from Moose tagging Sim forced him to dash away already. So it doesn't allow for TSM to get the type of entry that they were known to do with the catwalk hit. It's basically paranoia into the generator, updraft, and TP on the top, or dash on top of the generator to get value. And because of that camera, it's going to nullify any type of hit TSM is going to try to do. Very, very nice by Moose. And we're just going to farm now.
Yep.
One enemy remaining.
Wow, dude.
Down B.
Not a good start, because I think the thing about this here for TSM, just to like dissect this a touch, like you have to figure out where the Sentinel setups are. And it'll likely be in 3 of the 4 choke points that you kind of see right down the 50-yard line, the horizontal split of the map. Then you have to go through the one that's not congested by utility and then run into likely a double stack where Chaotic can get a free peek and then bail. Like, I don't know, man. I think Roy hit this one on the head. Like, in terms of like, how do you deal with this particular double Sentinel setup? I think you would rather have something like a KO or a Sova. Like, I just don't think that this Tejo is going to feel great if you're in the hands of Vora right now. Like, Vora's going to have to really put together a masterclass.
And one other thing that BB did quite well against TSM was that TSM was playing a lot of like soft side extremities and utilizing both Deadlock Tejo to grab net salvos and get good util. Ella, the foot just got spotted there, so they know that Sim's moving up on top of that. But see, this is something that should hopefully be corrected on the side of TSM, where they can activate a little bit more on the defensive side once they take it.
What? Did Chaotic just crash out?
I think that barrel of the gun was probably sticking from the POV of Vora, so he gets wallbanged and picked off.
Well, it's just like he was like not fully behind cover, still scoped in and like walking forward.
Yeah.
Whoa, that's a hell of a shot from 7.
We wallbanging, baby.
Yeah, I see that. Bones? Oh gosh, the timing, the shots, both pretty decent, but not enough to collat, and that's going to be TSM stopping the bonus for Lander.
And Rico pings this out, so he knows now that Moose has been playing deep inside the B site. They don't know how much util is being placed in there because they didn't really execute within that side of B, but there was double trips, double sensors. Right now, they just got kind of dismantled into different spots from Landor when exactly that. See how the half the body was peeking out. Yeah, and on the side of Chaotic, I mean, he was scoped in, he couldn't see it.
Yeah, and that's the thing is like, I just don't know why he gives up that angle.
Yeah,
after you'd seen the foot, I don't know. That's just it just seemed weird. Like scoped in, crouch walking forward, like we're very clearly half his body was still showing. Like that's not one of those like, oh, I guess my character model was out. Like you were like very clearly out. Yeah, but regardless, not the end of the world. Odin operator, you know how this goes.
So far, so good. It goes with on the side of Chaotic, and that's probably going to have to be one big win condition as well. And this trip, now you Odin through this, might get stunned by it. Can't really spray yet.
Still holding it. Bullet hose on site.
Enemy remaining.
Oh my God. GMD's looking for him like, where'd he go? And now it's just down to recoil mid-map. Oh
And
boy, you
he's the
can't
one that
see
gets
anything, you
grabbed
can't move anywhere. And Landor are off very calmly on this defensive half so far.
Yeah. So again, I was trying to mention that the win con is probably trying to shut down Chaotic. He's going to get into a lot of these moments where he's opting very passively towards the back of middle, or at some of these points on the defense, he's going to start activating on the sides. But to what Roy was mentioning before, they don't have a composition on the side of TSM to really draw out early on their attack side. It has to come down to maybe even recoil flashing for information so that they could maybe react out of something from there. If not, you're body peeking every single time, or you're droning off the gates. And it's not going to be the easiest of results for you to get when you're so deprived on the amount of information that you're able to garnish from the lack of it because of the composition.
Yeah, absolutely. No, that's wow. This has got
Most
to
of the times they're
feel.
walking into ops now. Yeah.
Well, there's that, yeah, and Odin's again. You know what that looks like? Like it's a tale as old as I would say time, but you know,
That's our
as
age.
old as we're as old as time. We're as old as dirt. Oh, Chaotic! Right through GMD's big toe. Grab net down. Chaotic right there to find it. Fails out. Sim able to get one before the door closes. Sacred now in sight. Actually, this is a bit of a window there, but Bones clears out tree, and it leaves really just Bora stuck here waiting for Recoil to come around from behind with the Sheriff.
Recoil made it through though, and Recoil with the Sheriff should always still, oh, yeah, exactly, always be good.
Now it's Vora's turn.
30
Chaotic,
seconds left.
low on health, backs up into hell, playing just the one-dimensional angle with the op. Can't miss.
One enemy remaining.
He won't.
He ain't missing today.
Nope. Well,
He
not
ain't
this
missing
map.
this map. Yeah.
Yeah.
This map. But if anything though, he was actually lights out on the attack side of
that's true.
Pearl
That
as
is
well.
true. That
Right?
is
His
true.
updraft pick that he got onto Sim right now is just TSM's having a hard time really activating around the map. Every single place that they go, they're running into the operator. So
Yep.
you have to give more praise into how Chaotic's moving around the map so far for Landor and getting the maximum value out of the Yoru op. And that's going to be the main crutch, and it has always been the main crutch against like a Tailwind Breach composition for different maps like Fracture, for example. But now you're
Yeah,
playing
no.
on an Ascent, and this looks like easy mode.
Yeah, and I think the thing too is, and we talked about this, is like, look at the mini map. You have sensor drones at both choke points at A. You have trap wires and spy cam set up over towards B. And where's the operator? Down mid. So it's like, what do you want to run into if you're TSM?
Yeah.
You can't clear any of it. You literally cannot clear any of the utility out.
I think at this point, you probably need to run 3 cycles quite fast for TSM. Salvo the first wave to break any type of util or push the op away. Second wave, break util, and then maybe even third wave the execution.
Ugh.
But around those phases, you need to activate somewhere else around the map.
Yep.
But that's the danger that you run into. If you're forcing a TP away, you're activating somewhere else, your Yoru could have TP'd where you're trying to sell the fake.
Well, Sim in some trouble here. Does find some cover inside of the smoke, but no, good counter flash. Sacred takes use of that for 2.
Down A.
Miss for Chaotic, allows Bora to find one on the site, but nothing more. Again, limited purchase here for TSM. Did we dimensional drift that if you're Chaotic? Hello?
Who cares? I mean, he's 12-1, bro. He ain't gonna hold on to the op forever. He's just gonna op everybody every round anyways. He's gonna add a second one in probably like 3 rounds. But that's also the other thing too, is once you start escaping the op and you're able to get into sites, if you're not breaking that util, you're running to the Bones' Odin on top of the util coming through. So if anything, Sacred Moose and Teague are playing easy mode on Ascent right now. They could just sit back and relax because these guys are just not missing. Once they finally start missing or start getting figured out, potentially from TSM's timeout here, then maybe we're gonna start seeing more layers into the defense of Landor, but so far it's shoot up, don't miss, own him. No,
Yeah,
that's it.
No, absolutely. I mean,
Remaining.
this, yeah. I'm just gonna keep making noises because I don't know what words to say. Like, you know, it's just like,
Sounds like you're just eating.
Well,
Bro, I hasn't had dinner yet, so.
no, I had a protein shake. I'm chilling right now.
There you go.
What the cat? Here we go. Light armors, Armageddon, Steel Garden, Annihilation. You have to win this round if you're TSM. You just have to win it. Like, this is your, I won't say one chance to win a round because you've already won one, but it's your second chance to win a round. Gate crash out. Chaotic does take some damage. And that's just to pull out the Hunter's Fury and to get a little bit of a deeper shear wall, I guess, if you want to call that a win. But yeah, they're kind of doing what you said they wanted them to do. Just run around the map a little bit more.
Yeah. They forced the op away.
possible.
Here's
Yep.
the second phase. But this time they're using a lot of ults in the process of doing so. But we have to start seeing a little bit more towards the default now. Oh, dude, he still gets an
The
op kill,
Annihilation hits the decoy, my guy. We're getting antsy. We're getting just real panicky right now after
bro. Ult them
TSM.
towards you. Ult them towards you,
Armageddon.
especially when the sonic sensor got some information.
Here. Salvos first. Now we've got the trigger ready. Just waiting to see when this retake's going to unfold. Trades out. There's the Armageddon. And Yoru will be stuck by this. Shorty, no. Denied. And the Armageddon does hit just in time. Grabbing that down though for 7. Denied almost immediately. Shot lands. T picks up the op. Hits one, but is, well, looking for more?
Should be okay.
Yeah, I'm just going to back out.
Save the op 2 into the next round. I mean, now you're looking at it from the side of TSM, right? They used what, 3 ults? Armageddon, Steel Garden, Annihilation, just to get one round. And that was off the timeout to expend everything to be able to convert that round. This time, you don't have the same type of util to work with. Potentially, maybe with a GMD ult, just because how... you can't even TP behind enemy lines, now that I think about it. Because there's really only Chaotic, the one that's really trying to op, and even then, he's opping fairly passively. So you can't really ult behind enemy lines. So now you just have to go into those phases, as I mentioned before. Rotate, move around the map.
Yeah. What do you think the magic number here for TSM is? You looking for 4? Well, hold on. You're going to get 3 most likely. You should get 3 here. You don't get 3 here, we got problems.
Great start on the side of TSM. But yeah, now you could pick any site. You've known so far that Moose has always been playing towards the B site. You could try to decide to push against him and fight. But now that the second pushed out towards Catwalk, you got picked off, just play numbers. You're on a 5v2. Doesn't really matter who's on site or not. You should be able to trade out anything.
Yeah, should be able to. The Odin is still in play, though, for Bones. Oh, and they line up for Moose. Oh, if he gets the 3rd. Shock dart out. No. Not this time. So TSM will get their 3rd. Money's still going to be fine for Landor here. And I kind of go back to the question again. I mean, there is a level of the problems we're talking about for TSM on offense. Like, those things will not be exclusive to them.
Correct.
It just look a little bit different for Landor because you've got the Yoru. So, you know, and I think that the biggest thing about it, if you're Landor, knowing that you're playing up against just a Tejo initiators, like as soon as the salvo's out and you can commit, then you can get on and set up a nasty post plant with the deadlock utility. But
yeah, we'll definitely get to that point once we get to that half. Yeah. But if anything, they still have some pretty decent space making for lining up the TPs into sites, right? But we'll hold that thought. There's already action back from the replay. The main control team is slowed.
Oh, surely we yep. Okay, good secondary peek though for Bones. Limits that play just a touch.
I have the spike.
Spike does get collected. Chaotic almost. Couple of tags there at the end. Arc Rose, sure, why not? Whatever. And the rest of the defense over towards... I'm actually surprised that the offense is not just going to stack back up here, hit through mid, hit through B main, take your numbers advantage. Like, if they hit this and lose this round, I'm going to be...
Camera taken out.
Unhappy. Unhappy boy.
There's that dash.
Okay, good. Although,
Player standing.
okay.
Spike down A.
And that's the
punishing.
thing. Yeah, but this time Moose not tagging into camera thinking that, or even if you got tagged, at this point for Sim, he didn't want to dash away. So he's going to have to play the selfish play. He dashes forward, gets a spot, even gets an entry, so that allows TSM to really move in. So I like that change. Again, it doesn't matter to try to manipulate the map. You now have a 4-on-2 scenario. Don't give him that respect. I think it's probably with this conversation coming up from MBS. Like, don't give him that respect. Even if they're opping us down the way that they are, if we are playing numbers, just brute force them, you know? And they're doing it. They've salvaged so far this half
Yes.
to get 4 rounds on the attack, which is kind of what you wanted. Converting 3 rounds out of a timeout when it looked so one-sided for Landor in the very beginning is quite nice to answer back here for TSM. But also, it's been a change of tempo shift. Ever since this timeout, you saw that Landor also wanted to press forward on our defense. The push up on Catwalk was double punished. This time on that previous round, the push towards B main was punished. So they weren't really playing the same type of style that allowed Chaotic to get just easy picks with the op before. They actually got punished trying to not allow TSM to set their foot on their attack side after the timeout by trying to deny that space, and they got punished for it.
One enemy remaining.
So you thinking that off this timeout, Landor's just going to go back to normal?
Yep.
Not try to get as greedy?
Yeah, and then finish the half, what was it, 8-4?
8-4 maybe?
Enemy remaining.
Yeah.
That's obviously that's ideal in terms of where we currently stand, but
But the thing is, it won't happen because they don't have the op. This timeout is for the next round, so there's still a possibility for TSM to tie things on a 5-5. You don't have big ults to go for a trap play for Landor either.
yeah.
So TSM has a chance now. After this timeout, seeing the econ, staying as a 5-man group. The camera's going to see a lot from the very beginning, but how does Moose and Bones react to this? There's not even a trip towards B main either.
Ooh, Bones stuck, but good help from Moose. Oh, Annihilation! Oh my gosh!
Down B.
Bones still gets a second. And now Chaotic can still hang out over towards mid-market. Of course, the Annihilation gets the self-trade for 7, but that's critical. Oh, and they miss out on the nearsightedness. Chaotic goes 1 for 1. 3v2, Paranoia comes out, Fora sidesteps it. Oh, but this is gonna feel awkward because Teague is just gonna hold here with the Stinger. And he's in
Got
the kill box.
Annihilation too,
He's
though.
in the kill box here. Here we go.
Worst comes to worst, he gets 1, and there's still a 2 versus 1 for Landor.
It's so painful. The Valorant timing is so painful. And he's gonna track back and not see anything. Oh my goodness.
But see, the thing is even if TSM plants, they still have the Annihilation to work with. Now the ult confirms it. He's just gonna move forward. He could delay if he wants
30
to,
seconds left.
and he probably will because he's got net.
Well, yeah, you've got a couple more pings and you've got help on the way to make sure that Annihilation doesn't get deleted.
And you know they're staying within sight because the sonic sensor.
Oh my goodness. It's literally hundredths of a second from being able to get a full read on
Player
that.
standing.
And now
Oh
all of a
my
sudden TSM are
God.
farming it. In the 2v3, it's just down to Sacred. Oh, and he drops down, he's been seen. Oh my goodness.
Oh.
Do not forget that round, friends. That is unreal.
And that's tenacity, right? If anything that you take away out of this one for TSM is that there's a huge sigh of relief coming from that camp because this was a lower buy on the side of Landor. Not only that, they had first step and first control. They got the net. They trapped the Sova into B main. Yet Moose got value out of the Guardian to get 1 pick. They almost lost that round, but thankfully they countered back on the ult to get the full information.
Oh gosh, and now all of a sudden you start to get a little bit of shakiness out of Landor. Barrier mesh out, Armageddon called. That's going to allow entry into the site. Sensor drone is still in play. Sim initially baited by the decoy, but 7 just spraying down heaven with the Odin. And oh my goodness. after a flawless start, this is how it starts to unfold with just another round to play.
Yeah, and unfortunately, who got punished first being overly aggressive was Secret. Out towards Wine, couldn't TP out. GMD TPs across. TSM playing with the disrespect. And the Armageddon also doesn't allow Chaotic to get value with the op. So I think out of these timeouts, they also understood the hotspots of where the op is currently being set up by Landor. And thankfully, they had enough ult cycles to be able to prevent that from happening and now take the lead on the attack side. This is a whole different story this time around, but also just TSM utilizing their util to perfection. They have to play a lot cleaner this time around, and they are.
And they take Moose out of the picture. 6-5. 5 in a row all of a sudden for TSM. It's like shoes on the opposite foot.
Yeah.
From what last map looked like so far.
And also TSM converting off the timeout from Landor too. So that not only it was a sigh of relief on the previous round, but now you're starting to feel confident. You're starting to feel like, okay, these guys can bleed. It's not just Sacred popping off on one map and Chaotic popping off on a second. We could actually answer back. We could fight back toe to toe.
Here we go. Last round of the half. Force purchase for whatever you can afford. Annihilation. Bones trying to follow on that. That's a miss. Steel Garden is out. Bones able to convert. Has the shorty in the corner. Not the worst case scenario with the barrier mesh still keeping him relatively safe. But no. Gets one chunk off with the shorty. Barrier mesh not fully deleted, but close. And the offense is going to just wait a second here. 4v4 GMD does have from the shadows to try to scout something out before they commit.
Yeah, and you already seen from Seven's side too, he's just not necessarily trying to break down the barrier. He's just continuously wallbanging. I wouldn't be surprised here if he holds the link and tries to spam into B main from that spot to see if anybody's there, but instead they're smoking to try to regroup on A side where different setup of trips this time around will get spotted by drones. So he's already pinged that out. Oh, they got
hi. Oh, chaotic. Whoa.
Yeah.
30 seconds left.
And
We're
now
gonna
it's
TP
just,
to.
yeah.
He gets canceled out, now pulls in the gap. They're jumping in from catwalk.
Teague is looking at him like, what you doing there, brother? And there it is. Okay, 6-6 half. And again, based on how that started, that is an unreal bounce back for TSM, who will now have their go at the defense with the double sentinels. And the questions can start to be asked in terms of Bones, what his efficiency looks like. You know, in terms of how much value he finds with the Sova, how much can the Yoru get done? Like, there's just a lot of question marks now into what Landor can do from the more trepidatious half.
Yeah. And you're starting to see the pressure that TSM's feeling out of this one, too. They felt like even if they won 5 rounds in a row, they're not really out of that fire pit yet. Some small mistakes coming through. For example, Recall dying before the gun actually jams into B main. Sim's gun sticking out through the cage, getting easily judged. So for TSM, they're going for a shark attack right off the pistol.
Dash forward for Sim. Nope, not on their watch. Well, GMD gonna still force TSM, just want to battle it. And yeah, why not, I guess, if you're gonna hold this catwalk position. And it's pistols at dawn here in the second half. TSM winning out with 7, the last one standing.
Yeah, it all came down to reacting onto the good read from TSM because you're a strong holding on B site to start for a Landor, and you just had to be in position to trade. They were all perfect. Every single one of these players, and it came down to that 1v1. There's nothing more you could add out of that one. It was just a nice little Hail Mary by TSM off the rip, and it allows for them to have a strong buy going into the second round. But their buy is also heavily invested. There's none of the smaller, I was about to say, none of the smaller rifles with ghosts or whatnot on 2. You have such a big buy for a lot of these players.
Spike down.
A flawless is perfect here.
Yeah. And it looks like they're probably going to get it, which is classic here, though. That's the biggest thing here for Landor. And yep, there it is. Flawless round. True bonus on the way. And now we need to start to see what Landor wants to do, because as much as we obviously gave a lot of credit off the pistol, off the fallout from Landor, TSM are also showing levels of aggression here to really kind of stop Landor from even getting a setup. So you talk about like, how are they going to break the double sentinel setup? Well, they don't even get a chance to stage a battleground in the first place right now. We'll see.
See the value they get as well. Now not getting any plants on the attack either. So forcing the armors in this round, but the util is not fully there. No trips here for Moose. Already Chaotic gets headshotted.
Bruh.
The drone's already being used at 130.
Yep. I was just about to say, like, if we're going to commit an Al drone at a minute 30, why are we peeking before the Al drone is out? And you get the wall and the follow-up. Uh-oh. Are the wheels off?
Back on. If anything, training wheels are off for Moose and Teague.
Could be.
We talked about it. Bones and Chaotic, the ones that activate on the first half, they get dropped down first. It's time for the other three to start stepping up. Training wheels. Weight. How do you call them? Weight downs? What are they?
What?
Training weights? Training weights. There you go.
Training weights?
Those also get dropped.
Training wheels to training weights?
Yeah, you know.
Ooh, what a shot from
saying.
Moose. Okay. Spike makes its way onto B.
They were biking with training weights.
All missiles away.
Not just speeding through.
You're crazy.
30 seconds left.
Holy thunder. I don't know if you guys heard that or not.
I hear your Amazon,
Spike
Alexa.
planted.
I hear everything.
I love that. All right, see how they try to play this for a retake. Teek's going to hold deep in towards B main. Wait for the battle to start to ensue on the
Last
site
player
before peeking.
standing.
Might not even ensue because Moose is just teeing off.
Hey, how does that go, chat? Who's on the loose?
Moose is on the loose.
Yeah.
Throwing net.
Grafton is not
Seven's
going to hit anybody, though, so...
Yeah,
I mean, a
7
decent
still
bonus.
gets to go. Yeah.
If
Great
you keep
bonus.
both inside the radius here...
Dark cover about to fade. Wow, nice shot from 7.
One enemy remaining.
Followed up, finds the limb. Moose is loose. 4 in a row for the Moose man. But again, bonus is punishing, to say it plainly, as TSM hold the narrow edge, and the purchase on the other side for Landor is going to be less than comfortable.
Yeah. And you're already seeing from Landor's side, they're kind of just juggling on what type of buys to get. 2 great openers, by the way, from Sim. But now their gun round is good. Not only do they have strong weapons to work with versus a lower buy from Landor,
Enemy remaining.
but I think an Annihilation is already ready for a 7. So they do they're very close here to even cycling a couple more ults around Vora. Landor's not out of this one yet.
No, not at all. Tight setup here at mid-market for TSM. Owl drone again being used early, and now Chaotic peaks. Didn't you know it?
So nice.
Oh,
Oh, even
wow.
better.
Through the smoke, team cuts another. Or is that just through the paranoia? Hard to say. They both looked about the same.
I mean, Sim tried, you know, trying to just time the L drone and jump spot and just quick scope for a pick. But Chaotic was just ready the whole time. That was just beautiful wait by Chaotic. Beautiful patience as well. And then because of that, that was the whole trap play, trying to activate through that, run through the salvos, and you just have more bodies on the side of Landor, and you just spam all those players down, and GMD falls.
Well,
Laura comes
mid
up huge here, right?
Yeah, well, he's going to have to. Recon Dart pushes him all the way into Arches. The defense on A has not moved yet, so this is all on what Vora can produce.
30 seconds
He's hearing all the
left.
footsteps, and now you're crouched.
Yep.
Oy, okay. Should be the round, should be the save here for TSM, and we're going to be tied at 8.
Planted.
And it would have been such a good, momentous push here from TSM if they're able to shut things down. Look at the buy or the credits that are remaining after the buy here from Landor.
Yeah.
It would have been an opportunity for TSM to really run away with this one, but instead, it's them having to hopefully get value out of the Annihilation in the next round. I think if there's still a timeout left, even though it seems very early in that second half, I think MBS has to call it. You need to find some good value here. Force the hand, force the fight. Even if the Annihilation only gets 1 and you're forced into shots, then you still have salvos and stuff to work with and fight behind the Annihilation. They cannot allow themselves to play passively like they did against Burger Boys.
No,
Because
yeah.
when that happened, Bonnie was owning.
Yep. I love that call. I think that's just, again, turning reflection into reaction, right? Like, you have to play your game here if you're TSM. And I think the thing too is just like, you know, there's something to be said about that. Like, when you're in an instance where you're do or die as a team that everyone's looking at as being a major favorite, we've seen what already happened to Shopify Rebellion, just kind of caught in their own skin a little bit. Like, you have to step up. Like, you cannot just figure based on the notoriety that your roster brings that you're just going to walk through a qualifier like this.
Yeah, it's a simple thing that even coaches in the VCTs and players in the VCTs talk about, right? You're talking about being a favorite team, SRB winning split one, TSM being the clear favorites almost to make it a deep run into Ascension this year. So you're playing with so much pressure while the other ones are just like, well, we got free reign. We could just play loose. And you saw what happened when Landor played loose on that previous map. It gets very difficult when TSM realizes, oh crap, we are vulnerable. We're not at the top of the chain and we could almost get eliminated here. So any type of round that Landor is able to catch up on this time around is kind of potentially make TSM falter more and more and more and potentially even crumble in adversity. Sorry.
Keep an eye on this play here at the mid. Sim, you know he's going to want to try to check this. Little dance back and forth. There's the first check. Easy. Yeah, okay.
Nothing there.
Annihilation. Not going to connect. But TSM 5v3.
He still has his.
Yep. Smoke down. Barrier mesh down. But Sim. Oh! Catches one before dropping, but this is still very doable. 2v3. There's some bodies available. If Moose wants to try to go back for the neural theft, but instead they're gonna try teamwork forward, and Recoil beats him for the 1v2.
Oh, nice little entries to start things off towards the pizza to almost turn it around for the side of Landor. But Recoil finally getting challenged into the B site. Not enough util to get him out of space. I was expecting potentially even utilizing that annihilation to take control here of the B site, but got caught off guard, played out in the open, and it surprised Landor.
Oh, this is a nice spot.
Thankfully, this time around, though, there is a dimensional drift, so staying as a group, probably leveraging Teague with the annihilation as well. Wouldn't be surprised here with this ping. You're gonna try to ult through, get through the smoke, get information.
Who's next?
And now it should be a little bit easier. You probably don't need to use the ult yet because you've already scanned into M1. You saw nobody there. Now you know it's a passive play towards Catwalk. You can split into the A site now.
There.
But look at the setup here. You've got Sim, who's going to close the door at mid-market and just hold with all of this Sentinel utility around. Recoil, into the backside of the spawn. TSM going to play for retake here.
Yeah.
They've got Armageddon to try to open at least some space to work with. Just comes down to where. And more importantly, do they know that the judge is playing on the top side of this doorway? And
Salvo could just break the doors.
Yeah. Or do you want to use it to break down the site?
It's got to engage with the Armageddon first, and there it is.
It steps the Sova forward. Annihilation queued. Does not connect? Sim? Can't get through this cloud burst, though, and that's going to be enough to, let that judge just sing a song over towards the door. And there's just nowhere for TSM to go. So, yeah, good breakdown here. Recoil's going to try to give us the old 1-2 college try. And it's done well, but time is running out. And Landor will get us tied at 9. I like the idea. I like the design, and it all works out pretty perfectly.
Yeah, it felt like they expected maybe more players to play outside of sight, especially when it's Bones playing. I don't know if he already had the Hunter's Fury or not, but they were just trying to make sure that they break that out of sight so that they could actually move into the A site. But we didn't split fast enough into door and heaven, and everything was actually slowed down when Teagues' annihilation actually did hit somebody. I think it hit 7, but he got immediately freed right after. Yeah, so it made it very difficult for TSM to really scale through, and it canceled out the dash value that Sim had, who's now trying to find value with his dash, and unfortunately dashes away when nobody was trying to hold towards tiles.
Salvo, GravNet combo, trying to get through. Doesn't really work out. Trade between barrier meshes out. Neural theft can be called for the offense. Landor looking to go quickly. Or will they?
It's tough. Smokes are down.
Yeah.
Sensor destroyed.
Oh, good sensor, but it doesn't matter. Devora hits that perfectly, but Chaotic still gets 2. Sim, quick to try to contest. Gate crashing away, though, is Chaotic, and we've got ourselves a 4v2 situation. Sim, one of those moments, yeah, you're just looking for him to do Sim things, but no, it's Chaotic for 4 in the round. That is so massive because it's 10-9. And now you're 2 off from another dimensional drift, which just convincingly won you the round prior. That's massive.
Yeah. I mean, I would probably stinger buy here. I'd probably stinger buy and try to turn it around here with the Steel Garden. I would like to think that with the stinger buy, you should still be able to buy in the next round, and you just got to flood against Landor. But instead, maybe they didn't have enough money, which is why your Sheriff no armor across the board.
It's hoping for one click. This is all this round is.
They're able to do so for sure. Seen Vora do it. Recoil do it on split. Earl as well. And look at the amount of util trying to stall the B main push. You have Sonic Sensor and Razor Vines. Yeah. As soon as the wall comes up, a flash to allow Recoil to maybe swing out, isolate a 1v1 with that wall.
Closed.
Good intel off the Arcros. Shear's also going to be procced. Dark cover will replace it. And Sim is just looking for any sort of a cross. Not going to happen, though. Landor going to take their time, kill the noise.
Yes, they have no information on middle either. So as much as Landor doesn't have any information to retake middle, and they're just going to have to slow clear it, even if they break this wall because it was thrown so early, it's going to force to rotate and leave Recoil alone inside B again. So this fake towards Catwalk to repivot into a mid to B split. Perfect call by Landor so
30
far.
seconds left.
Oh, he slips through?
Yeah, I mean, Recoil is so stuck. Yeah, and Chaotic's going to get to GMD, hoping for timing. No Sacred Turns, finds the kill. It's going to be 11. Chaotic's in a dimensional drift for another.
Yep.
And we're knocking at the door here of our stage 1 champs being knocked out and another major favorite not making it to stage 2 playoffs.
Yeah. And that's the second 4K round for Chaotic. So the last 2 kills, one pushing towards the spawn and then getting the second one onto Recoil, allowed for him to get the dimensional drift and also casually drop into 30.
Casually. What a turnaround since the first map.
Oh, man. And the alt cycles are favoring Landor right now with few rounds remaining. And remember, this is back to TSM. We mentioned it against Burger Boys, not getting the best value out of the defensive round, their defensive side, rather. They had 6 rounds on the attack, which is great, at least to start things off. But now on the defense, it's very similar stories. Yes, they are being a little bit more proactive by not playing soft side B and stacking like the GravNet Teo salvos, but they have been focusing a lot on like tiles crunch, right? So instead of really just going for mid control, it was a lot of push forward and try to find some kills. Until, you know, Sim is able to play a little bit more passively towards market and have some players focus on that side. You're seeing that Landor are actually focusing a lot on the extremities this time around in the last few rounds, and it's been difficult here for TSM to answer back on that.
Well, Sim's going to have to hit with the op here. You need to funnel it to Sim's direction. He just has to hit. Problem is, if you can read that where the op is, you can just dimensional drift it away. Like, it's just
exactly what they're doing. They're doing the same thing as they did before. Smoke, recon dart towards M1, ult, find information. It's going to find Sim towards the back of M3. Oh, he faked DPs instead of ulting.
Okay.
Interesting.
Dimensional drift. Hunter's Fury going to be used to try to call this out. Does 7 get tagged by it? Yeah, there's the first, but stays alive. Here comes the pop out. Immediately gate crash back. That's not bad. TSM's going to survive through that. That's pretty critical. Now, the secondary hit is the one that's going to be really precarious because your defense is trying to re-wrap back just in case, and it's not going to be a re-wrap. It is all commitment into A, and TSM just has to hope they can stay alive. 7 gets one before dropping, but GMD not able to provide. Trade from Sim. 3v3. Post-plant setup. Annihilation? No, sorry, Steel Garden.
Right here.
Gotta hurry up though. Two
Moose
of them are
can still
hit
hold.
by that.
Into the corner.
Guns are back.
Wow,
They took
missed
way too long.
opportunity. But recoil still lands for another. Down to Moose. 1v3 off of his own plant. No, just too many bodies to look at. And what a turning point in this map. 11-10, but TSM survived through the Dimensional Drift Hunter's Fury combination.
I respect that towards the end. I forgot that they had the Hunter's Fury on their side on the attack as well for Landor. So instead of going, if anything, they did some conditioning on that smoke and recon dart towards M1. And then when you heard the Dimensional Drift, you think that he was going to go towards the back pathing of M3 and then come back towards Garden. It was just to try to combine here the Hunter's Fury with the Dimensional Drift. That 7 survived the whole time and got a kill before. That was huge. Huge play coming out from 7 to keep TSM in the game and prevent that push from happening from Landor and potentially even closing the game.
Yes. And honestly, the ultimate economy kind of swings hands here a little bit. Annihilation, Armageddon starting to become a little bit closer. Probably not going to get it for Vora unless you find a couple of kills here. Decoy out, Aldrone there. Vora finds the first. Hey, how's that decoy going?
He could have stayed in that too because he had dash procced up. So
Yeah.
go for the pick, dash away, get that out. But now that he actually took it out, they know that there's presence towards the back of spawn. Right now, Landor for me seems like they just want to wait off this wall from the deadlock, actually shoot it out, and try to activate Teague and market.
And here comes the play. God, Sid connects when it matters most. On to the guy who's 33 and 10.
One enemy remaining.
And the follow-up from TSM is perfect. You want a tie game? How about
Wow.
it? Flawless round, 11-11. Make a wish.
And only Recoil received a tad of damage against the opponents. Well, we're back. We're back, not necessarily in control of this game because there's still somewhat of a decent buy out of Landor. Only Sacred is the one that's broke as a joke, but Chaotic could still buy. Question is, do they want to try to go for an attack side op to try to fight against Sim? Because Chaotic has not been missing that rather when it was using the op, but it hasn't really been using any on the attack side because, as we mentioned before, they kind of need him on the entries when they're going to try to execute into these sites.
Left.
This is a tough call right now for Landor.
Yeah.
It's like,
Stay down.
this is like the do you play for the tide or you go for two type conversation. Like, you buy here, it very well may be the game. But you win it, it still very well may be the game. Like, you can win still. Like, that's just, I don't know, man. This is what dreams are made of. Or something like that as we're fighting to stave off elimination.
Dreams.
Don't let your dreams be dreams.
Just do it after this timeout. But the thing is also TSM winning flawlessly in that previous round keeps them in the game, right? You could buy for the rest of this half.
Vance, you're
or you closing out or you bring to OT.
You're a prophet.
Yeah.
We need to see what they're going to try to do. They know that Sim has been playing either towards tree or mid.
Almost like I watch this game too much.
You watch a lot of this game.
No
You watch a lot of it.
And you're trying to find him though.
throwing next.
The M1s, now it's open. You're going to start scaling up. Try to go for that fight onto M3. You probably need to re-smoke Cap on top of that.
Oh, what a first blood, but
Can't see him.
recoil will be, whoa. As they pulled back, he almost gets canceled out with that double peek, but now it's the
he hits
battle. Does
He
that
hits it.
determine the game? It very well might. What a shot from Sim. What an opener from Recoil. And Landor stuck at B main.
I almost jinxed it too. Ever since I called the 30 bomb, the casual 30 bomb at what, 11-7, I think it was? I can't remember. But Chaotic has not been landing any more kills since then. And now TSM in prime position to take the lead and even put themselves at series point
Yep.
as Landor is trying to walk contact in.
Reeling the
Oh, he hits one.
No escape.
Not
Is
shooting him
there-
out. That's a
They're not.
spike. That's a spike.
What are we doing?
That's a
We're
spike
all
Spike down.
think they're
Defender
trying to
spawn.
bait it of some sort, thinking that maybe they can get a delayed peak, but this dark cover that's in play just doesn't allow him to find anything, so it's just up to Moose. 1v4. Gets a tag, but he's just being baited with, played with. Sim hits, and it's match point for TSM. Are we kidding?
Beat what? Beat what? If you don't shoot the cocoon.
I don't know.
If you don't shoot the cocoon, then it's like, okay, well, it's a free kill for us. Oh my God, no. Not like this. Not dropping to 30 and losing. What is this, son of car? Icebox?
Oh my goodness. The buy is not ideal. Armageddon is ready.
5-player hit. Hail Mary onto that side. And look at the triple high-low on middle instead.
Yep. You got the grab net to slow it down. And a follow-up from 7. Here we go. Could be the game. Barrier meshes out.
Oh,
Landor did not get separated by that. That is pretty close. Armageddon not going to be used, surprisingly,
would kill
actually.
so many people.
Yes, it would. It would probably win the game. Surely we don't call it in now. Oh, Sim's got the exit. I mean, you could still use this.
Oh my God. He doesn't have dash anymore, too. Is it one and done?
Doesn't matter. It's one and maybe more. And now Landor have to commit. You have to play forward. There's no more exit available. Recoil in the corner. He has not played this position yet. Does Landor check? There's the recon. Nope, you don't check it. Recoil gets 1. 7 and Sim still connect down to Bones. Nothing there. TSM. In the maybe one of the most TSM ways they could have possibly qualified based on how their last handful of games went. They get it done. Wow.